How you doing? All right, I do have some holiday jokes for you. However, I feel like I need to tell you where I'm at as a human first. So, it's been a really shitty 3 months for me. So buckle up, motherfuckers, okay? Buckle up. I'm going to tell you about it. It all started when I was at a bar and some drunk motherfucker stole my cheese stick right out of my basket. Just like, boop. So I was like, fuck that guy. And then I went home to my fiance, and he was like, hey, I'm leaving you. And I was like, what? We just had sex 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, your tongue was in my asshole. Like, what do you mean you're leaving me? But he did. It was just like, poof. I got smoke bombed by a 43-year-old magician of a playwright, you guys. That happened. So my first day back at work was rough because I'm a bartender and I have to talk to people. So I went up to my first table and like I felt like I needed to introduce myself by telling people what had occurred because I wasn't necessarily like openly weeping, but the sorrow was palpable. So I went up my first table and I dropped off the coasters and I was like, hey guys, how are you doing today? Just to let you know, my soup of the day is seafood chowder, and my fiance just left me. And one of the women, she had very long fingernails, and she was like, oh no he didn't, oh no he did not. And I was like, he did. She goes, girl, you come here, okay? And I went over and she gave me this big old hug. She goes, girl, you are gorgeous, okay? You are beautiful, okay? And you're going to find yourself another man, okay? But right now there is one man who loves you. That's the only man you need to be worried about, okay? And he loves you, okay? He loves you, okay? And this was me. I know! I'm an atheist. But in that moment, I understood religion. It's the faith, it's the idea that there is a man out there that loves you and doesn't judge you and just supports you in everything you do, no matter what, even though he never fucking shows up. I just usually call him Dad. Come on, you guys, I have blue hair. He clearly left me at a young age. That's the truth. So for the first weekend after he left, I couldn't stay in my apartment. Like, I had to stay with friends, because I was like, if I stay in my apartment, I'm just going to be crying, because I had, like, just done a bunch of adorable things. Like, I had just bought ice trays, so we didn't have to lug home bags of ice from the Walgreens anymore. And I was like, if I stay in my apartment, I'm just going to be weeping into ice trays. And the last thing I need right now is salty Jameson. So I stayed at a friend's house, and like the theme of the weekend was basically, now don't you feel better? Didn't fucking matter what I did. I would get up off the couch and my friend would be like, no, don't you feel better? No. At one point she was like, hey Aaron, you should probably take a shower. And I was like, ha ha ha! How about we compromise and I wash my face? So I washed my face, I came out of the bathroom, and my friend was like, now don't you feel better? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. Your Neutrogena scrub didn't cleanse the desolation and future years of loneliness out of my pores. My married friend, she took me to the zoo. I was like, now don't you feel better? I was like, no, these animals are in cages. They're not allowed to make their own life choices. They're just stuck there forever, there, always behind bars. And she was like, yeah, well, it's kind of like marriage. And I was like, you know what? I feel better. I feel a little better. So recently I decided that I was going to kind of take a gander into my little black book. I was like, let's just see what's out there. Let's just fuck the sadness out of the vagina. Just get it out! So I came across some names that were like highlighted with little happy faces next to them, and I was like, well, that guy will give me an orgasm. But I literally chose a name that had a little frowny face next to it because there was a note under his name that said, he never leaves. And I'll tell you what, you guys, that guy came on my tits and held me all night. It was fantastic. He did. He recently saw my set, though, and then he came up to me and was like, am I frowny face? Am I frowny face? And I was like, no. Yes, you are. And then he recently just booty called me at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So clearly, the jokes didn't fend him off. Okay, now let's get to the holiday stuff. So Thanksgiving was a little rough because I went over to a friend's house who was married. And I knew that everyone who was coming over to the house for Thanksgiving was going to be married, except I was like, I got one single friend who's coming over, my friend James. He's coming over. He's going to be single. It's going to be fine. He shows up and he's like, guess what, guys? I just got engaged to this human. And I was just like, fuck, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I was just surrounded by diamond rings. And one of the couples had just had a child, like a newborn baby. And the new mother could kind of sense my sadness. So she just kept handing me the baby. Because babies are bundles of joy. So she just kept handing me the baby. So my Thanksgiving was basically spent with like me and a baby and wine. And so finally, like, I'm sitting around and I'm surrounded by like young love and like a sense of security and like an excitement about the goat cheese mashed potatoes. And I finally look at the baby and we lock eyes. And he gets it, you guys. The baby gets it. The baby is lonely too. So I finally grab the baby and I start playing with the baby. And a smile sneaks across my face. And the young mother comes up to me and she goes, see, now don't you feel better? So I hit her with the baby. I didn't really hit her with the baby, you guys. But the thought did cross my mind. And that is my happiest memory of this year's Thanksgiving. A fantasy of hitting a young mother with her newborn child. It's just where I'm at. It's just where I'm at. So Christmas is coming up and I have to go see my family, which is usually like most people are like, woohoo! I'm like, oh no. It's basically because my mother is insane, okay? My mother is obsessed with children. Like, my mother is 60, my stepdad is 80. My littlest sister is 18. So she had her last child when she was 40. And on her 40th birthday, when she was still 9 months pregnant, I bought her a mug that said, I'd rather be 40 than pregnant. She did not think that was funny. I thought it was hilarious. She still has the mug. She's 60 now. But my mother is obsessed with children, like to the point where she collects dolls. Which is a terrifying, like, hobby. Like, that's what she does, though. So when you first walk into my house in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, there's 2 glass doors, like right in the entryway, and there's a room with all of these dolls posed in like childhood representations of happiness. Like there's all these tiny dolls like surrounding a chalkboard with a teacher doll, like they're all learning simple math. And I'm just like, what is that like? I don't. My mother has a doll room posed with representations of childhood I never had. Like, it's disturbing. But she's also obsessed with babies to the point where she will find the young couple in the neighborhood who has a young child, and she's like, let me babysit them. It'll be fine. I'll do it for free as long as they call me grandma. So every time I come home for the holidays, I have like a new younger sibling that I need to meet until they go off to kindergarten and my mom finds another one. That's not a joke. It's just, there's no joke there. But my mom finally ran out of neighborhood children at 60 years old. There's no more neighborhood children to babysit. So she decided that she was going to adopt some children from the only country that didn't care how old you were when you wanted to adopt babies. It's Bulgaria, if anyone is wondering. It's Bulgaria. So now, this Christmas, I have to go home and meet my new little sister, Kara, from Bulgaria, which is going to be interesting. I've Skyped with her a couple times. I think the funnest part is that she's learning English, but the Bulgarian word for sister is kaka. So Kaka Aaron is coming home to bring the family together, you guys. That's what's happening. Yeah, there's really no jokes in the end of this. Like, that's just, there's no jokes. It's just, I have to go meet a new little Bulgarian baby sister. I'm 33, I'm Jesus age. It's the year Jesus died, it's the year I died inside. I'm Aaron Lane, that's my time. Thanks, you guys.